I know you guys sent over a lot of questions, and let me go through those. Okay, Kluk's potential to be a supplier. We could sell Viator globally rather than adding another preferred. We would like to try to support the ones that we already have. Is there a reason, or is there something that Kluk has that Viator doesn't?
Hi. I believe they offer like Disney Japan, for example, tickets, as well as they offer other things like in the Japan business and China business. And for me, I've been finding a lot of my clients asking me for Disney in Japan, and I think they are the best price there, and they offer like really competitive, and they're an Australia web page. So I think that's one of the difference.
Does Viator not have products or services in Japan?
I do believe they have services in Japan, but not, for example, I specialize on Disney, and they don't have the Disney tickets and for other parks. So all the Asia market, they offer really good price wise and tickets for a lot of things in the Asia market that we don't find in other suppliers.
Also, they offer eSIM cards that are very competitive in terms of pricing. The eSIM cards are very good for around Asia. I have experienced that with Singapore and Japan, and I've been very happy with what they offered, and yeah, I picked them among the others.
Okay, well, I will tell John then if they're that much more competitive, I will have him pursue it and look into it some more, and I will report back we won't wait until the next meeting. I'll report back. Ticketmaster and Teleticket's potential to be a supplier. We have a company called Golden Tickets. We also have Ticketmaster, and I believe they pay 10%. The program that John said that we could get for Ticket Tech is an affiliate program, and it's a low commission. But I can certainly have him do more investigation into that. If you think Ticket Tech is, you've got Ticketmaster and Golden Tickets. Is somebody using Ticket Tech?
For Australian tickets, they are managed by Ticket Tech or Ticketmaster. They don't cross over, so that the products will be on one or the other.
Okay, so we have Ticketmaster. Is that not up on the back office?
Well, I didn't see Ticketmaster, but my dealing with Ticketmaster as a consumer is you have to register in each country that you want to buy tickets.
Have you used Golden Ticket at all?
They don't have Australian product.
All right, I will look more into Ticket. Sorry,
like I mentioned last month, Ron, with Golden Tickets, it's a reseller site. So because of the scalping laws and everything that we have here in Australia, you won't find much Australian inventory on Golden Tickets.
The extra admins for the Australia Facebook page, is that what we're talking about? That was what we talked about last time? Who are the people that you want as the admins, and how do I select all the people that are down in Australia who the admin would be?
I think a couple of the agents that have been around for a long time, so like Jen and Michelle would be good, because I know Liz is an admin here as well, but she's not here. She's overseas all the time, so I'm the only Australian admin. So I think Michelle and Jen would be good.
And Ryan said that adding the admins was not a problem, so I could add Jen and Michelle. I'll have that done in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Thank you.
John, who's supplier relations, nor Dave have heard anything from. I think there's some confusion here. I said that I would get some dates together for you guys for Australia. So they misunderstood, or the question was misunderstood. So I will have I said I would have 10 to 15 dates last month, correct? I will make sure and get those up by the end of the week. How far out do you want to go?
You'll have to do at least a year. Everything's booking out here within 12 months.
Yeah, I would suggest up to as far as 18 months.
Yeah, our Christmas cruises are all booked out pretty much. I tried to book one this morning. So we're that far out.
Okay. Disney Hong Kong and Japan suppliers, according to John, following up with Monica, who is our Australia Disney contact. They can already, you guys can already get Disney Hong Kong and Japan through Viator and Expedia Tap. Is that not true?
Ron, I looked into Disney the other day on Expedia Tap, and no Disney hotels were actually coming up in Tokyo, Japan. I was looking for a client.
No, there's nothing. I've checked before as well. Not for
Okay.
Tokyo, and not for Hong Kong either.
Okay, guys, can you guys direct your email or direct? I will work with John, but can you guys set up a time that you can meet and talk to John and Dave in a conference call? Because they're the ones that are going to be most efficient. You to me and me to them and them to me and me to you is not working out. And frankly, I've been traveling and with my wife and everything else, I'm pretty out of it right now. I apologize for that. But I think if you guys, I will talk to John and Dave in the morning, and I would like to get you guys not wait for a call like this, but let's set up some sort of a discussion time with 2 or 3 of you, not a whole group of people, but 2 or 3, and get him to get these suppliers on board.
Just for Japan and that, but even just tickets for us to buy tickets here. We've got nowhere to buy tickets to Disneyland, Disney World.
I understand, but I'm being told by John in his emails is following up with Monica for Australia Disney. They can already get Disney, Hong Kong, and Japan tickets via Viator and Expedia Tap. So why you're not seeing that, and that's what they're telling us, I don't know. So I can't speak to that. But I will have a call with them in the morning, and I would say, reach out to you and Lee. I mean, you guys set up.
I have purchased for myself tickets for Sydney, Japan. For Disney Japan myself straight from their website last year, and it was fine.
Disney website?
Yeah, Disney
The
Japan.
US, was it?
As
okay.
a normal
I think
person.
Klook is good because it gives you in Australian dollars. And it's like the price is really competitive. That's why we were thinking about Klook as a provider, just because the price that they offer there is like really competitive and it's in Australian dollars. I had someone, for example, that wanted Universal Studios in Japan, and I tried to buy it, but the credit card didn't accept. Like I went directly to their website. I was just gonna charge a fee for doing it, but they didn't accept international credit card. So in the end, she had to use, I don't know what she had, like I lost that client. And for example, they have it in Klook. So it's like, that's why we were thinking about Klook like a supplier.
Okay, I just made notes with that. No, I need to get John and Dave to work directly with you guys. And so get as much of these suppliers as we can on board. Let me move on. The ADP program. ADP came back. They did not disclose the fact that they had a $10 minimum commission payment and a 2% conversion rate. And so they, across the board, for all the international, were going to be way too expensive to put into play. We are using ADP for the US. What we've done in return, I've signed a contract with a company called Payoneer, which is much more affordable. In fact, they've got no minimums and they're very low pricing that will not get passed on. And the conversion rate is only 0.5% The question I have is, we're using St. George. We could stay using St. George, or we could we could go over to Payoneer with everybody. Right now, I have you set up so that you're getting paid on the 10th and the 20th or something. You're getting paid before all the rest of the internationals. Is that not working out, or is that working out right now?
No, Ron, it's Jen. I haven't struck any problems with our pay coming through the way we've been doing it for the last couple of years. So I'm sure others wouldn't either. They come through and usually around the 10th.
Okay, yeah, we moved that so that you guys didn't get delayed behind the rest of the international payments.
Did
If
we
I
used to,
put you on, I'm sorry.
sorry, Ron, did we used to have two payments before, like a couple of months ago, I think last year, we used to receive two different payments. Now we're only receiving one. As in like, you know what I mean? Like it used to be two different lots.
There's supposed to
One-
be there's supposed to be twice a month.
Yes,
The 10th
exactly.
The 10th and the 20th, or the 10th, yeah, the 10th and the 20th.
Ron,
Yeah,
I can say that I've only ever get a payment. The Australian Commission payment comes through around the 10th, and then the other payment is from America if there's any US travel booked.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Mhm.
Okay, let me verify with Angela tomorrow. It should be the 10th and the 20th. And that should, well, though, if you're going to get paid from a commission in America, that's going to come through separately. That's not going to, we're not going to send that down to St. George and then send it across. That would cost you too much. That would cost too much money in conversion fees.
But
So-
we get paid by WISE, don't we? Like I've been getting paid my US commission by WISE payment.
That's
Right,
correct.
that's correct.
That's correct.
Yeah. And that will go to Remitly.
No, Payoneer.
I'm sorry, Payoneer. Sorry. Reggie, you're here.
I've been here the whole time.
Bail me out, dude. I'm a little
I know.
out of sorts.
I'm listening.
Hello, Reginald.
Hello, hello.
It's late.
I know. I recognize the voice right away.
Payoneer is good. They've actually got a card as well,
Okay.
similar to like what Akimbo did.
Yeah, Payoneer is so far the best for international when we're going to pay you through our USA bank account. So you guys will all get switched to Payoneer eventually. And I highly recommend you guys stay with St. George because that's been working out pretty well the past 3 years.
Yeah, but we need to check and see if there's some reason why we're not doing the 10th and the 20th, because I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
We were supposed to, but the payments on our end, there wasn't enough payments going out on the 20th. It was one big payment on we always paid on the 8th, they get it on the 10th. And it was just because at the time, we switched from 2 to 1 because of the number of agents we had in Australia.
Yeah.
Now that they're growing, we can go back to 2 payments.
Okay. I talked to
think
Angela
one of
today.
them-
She said the update for the commission payments in the back office was current.
Correct.
I have a question. So what, like I got the ADP email and I subscribe and got everything going. So it would just auto cancel or something?
Yeah, you could just ignore it. Some people in international did get ADP emails recently because you are getting paid in US dollars, and how the computer system read, we caught about 26 of you that got the email. We're like, oops, they accidentally got it. So thank you for signing up, and you can ignore it for right now because we're going to pay you through Payoneer eventually. Currently, we're going to keep paying you through Wise until we
Okay.
get everything set up with Payoneer. And I do apologize. There's about 26 of you that slipped through the cracks somehow, and we do apologize for that.
No, that's okay. I was just didn't know because I asked my other friends and they're like,
Yeah.
no, we never got the email.
Yeah, and the good news is you're set up. So if we ever go through ADP down the road for international, you're ready to go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Is that
You're
also
welcome.
going to apply for residuals as well from Evolution? Reggie, do you know?
You know what? I do not know what Katira and founder is going to do on that. I do apologize. I do not have that answer, but I can find out and get back to you, Lee.
Yeah, because that was I obviously got some residuals this month and had to set up with ADP to receive it. So
I believe that they're using ADP for everything.
Okay.
Can I just
Because-
I
Go ahead.
Yeah.
don't mean to interfere, but I've been getting residuals paid through ADP too.
Okay. It sounds like
Yeah.
then, Lee, it looks like they're going to pay residuals through ADP if we're getting people already doing that.
We pay a lot more people per transaction than they do, and our numbers are higher, so the cost was greater. So I think they may have evaluated that and said, we're just going to do it this way. Do you know if you got a $10 minimum charge on ADP? Did you see that?
I think it was, yes, from what I saw.
Okay. take a look at that and make sure and see what the conversion fees are on that. And if they're very high, we could look at, I'm sure, if enough people look at it that they don't like it, they probably will ask us to intercede, or they might do something similar. But they're trying to keep everything centered in one operation, and we didn't want to do that because of the expense to everybody, including us.
Excuse me, Ron. So last
Yeah.
time when you talk about ADP last time, you mentioned that was going to be a much more transparent kind of method where we could actually see what we submitted, what we got paid, and everything. At the moment, it's very messy. So if we're not going to get ADP, what can we do to be able to track this? Is like, just to give you an example, I had in my pending payments, I had about $1,200 that was supposed to come. I received today 770, which is not 20%. Sorry, it's not 80% of 1,200. So it's like, it's impossible for me to know what got paid, what didn't get paid, if it was in the pending.
Yeah, that's supposed to be. That is
Yeah.
supposed to be that's supposed to be in the back office. That's supposed to be uploaded. And if that's not current, then that's on us to get that current. If it's, and so by going to ADP with the other stuff, that should free up enough time. Reggie, we got to make sure that stuff gets posted in the back office, and Angela can't get buried and not post it.
Yeah, I'm taking a note right now.
I think that's been the biggest issue with our pays, is being able to track
Figure out what you
we've
get
been
paid for.
and all that sort of thing, with the back office not being updated often enough.
Yeah.
We're still working with Payoneer rather to see if they can do a payment file with the information on it as we were setting up with ADP. I haven't gotten all that confirmed yet, but in the meantime, we will make it a point to make sure Angela gets everything uploaded on a very timely basis. And Reggie, I need your help on that.
Yeah, I took notes, so I'll talk to Angela first thing in the morning when I'm up at 6 a.m.
Okay, Archer Go. We use the Archer Go, the book is your Archer. It's booked at Apollo at the head office. What will happen if the flight is canceled or delayed at the last minute or within, say, 24 hours of departure? What would the airline contact Archer HQ first? It would be advisable for anything that's booked through Archer Go that the agent, when they go to check in, they should check in with the flight early, and then they'll put their personal contact information in there. Then the airline will contact them directly. So if you're making it through Archer Go, it's in Apollo, so therefore it's directly with a carrier, and therefore if you tell them to go sign in with the carrier and put their information in, then they will get Reggie. I don't use Archer Go much. Is there contact information in each booking?
We finished the booking for them, so exactly how Susie and the girls do the booking for us. When we talk to them, it's the same setup. So you hit all the magic buttons. When they go check in, they just want to make sure they check in early.
Or they've got to, or you have to convey the information to us to put into the record. I don't think Archer Go was ever really designed for international. Is it getting used much internationally?
It is, with Australia and Mexico. They're using it. Yes.
Okay, then they are correct. We cannot get the message and then get it back out to them. That's what you and I were talking about today with the 24-hour service.
That's correct. That's one reason we do need the 24-hour service, is for an emergency situation such as this.
But there should always be contact information in an itinerary and a file for the traveler as well. That should always be in there.
Correct.
Australia agents covered by errors and omissions. So anything that you purchase under the auspices of Archer Travel and you're being a travel agent is covered by errors and omissions, even if they're not preferred suppliers. Any transaction where you are acting as an agent for an independent agent with Archer Travel, then yes, it's covered. You should always get a credit card authorization form, not only to minimize fraud, but to protect yourself. Again, this is your travel business, and if you accept a fraudulent credit card and you didn't do your due diligence on that, then the financial transaction would fall, the financial loss would fall back on you. So again, we always recommend that you use a credit card authorization form. If you charge an additional separate service fee, you're asking if that's covered by errors and omissions. I don't know. I've never had the question asked before, and I doubt very seriously they'd say, well, okay, you're going to add a fee on here. You made a mistake, so let me pay you your fee, and you made a mistake. I don't think they would do that. I think they would take the position that says, no, that's really not a loss to that you're going to have to pay out of pocket. You can't really pay out of pocket and pay yourself. So I don't think that any service fees that you charge would be covered under that. If an agent receives all monies on their accounts and pays for the bookings by the agent's card, is it correct that they are not covered by E&O? No, that is incorrect. You are covered as long as you process the transaction in full as an Archer agent through an Archer supplier or the contact that we provide. You are covered by errors and omissions, regardless of how you pay for it. In fact, all of these.
Ron, can I interrupt for a minute? Sorry. So the question was, say if I'm booking with Qantas Airlines in Australia, I'm not a preferred supplier of Archer, and I'm processing it that way. Just wanting to clarify whether we are covered by Archer or not, because they're not a supplier of Archer.
Okay, so you are free to do business with anyone you want. If it's not through the relationship with Archer, if you're going to a supplier outside of any relationship with Archer, and you're making your revenue separate from your relationship with Archer, it would not be covered by E&O. So I missed that. If you're outside of anything that we control or any relationship that we have, because we're not authorized by that company, that would be like you buying from another travel agency or any other supplier and then making your money directly with them. That would be a separate relationship, which wouldn't be covered by errors and omissions under our relationship.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
As Ron's reading another question, just a reminder, everyone, please, for E&O insurance, when we have to turn these claims in, the first question they ask us is, do you have the credit card authorization form and a copy or the last four digits of the credit card? Do we have potential copy of the ID to match the credit card? So the insurance company wants all that information for us to even file a claim on your behalf. So please get that credit card authorization form, have it in in a file in case there is a situation.
And I have another question here. So suppose I get the money from the client in my bank account and I use my card to pay all the suppliers. What happens in that case? Are we still covered?
Yes.
As long as you can show proof all those transactions really happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that will be in my bank account statement. So that will be the
Right.
proof. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Did you receive the commission directly from them or did you receive the commission from us?
No, I booked actually the Evo Plus, but the client deposited the money in my account based on
Okay.
the code, and
Yeah,
then
you're
I
covered.
just booked it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're covered in that
Wait,
case.
time out. If they're using Evo Plus, that is not a,
I
There's
haven't
no
received. Yeah, I know I won't be receiving any commission for that because that's a wholesaler. Yeah.
Reggie,
price.
I talked to Bob. Evo Plus is covered.
okay. Okay, that was a question here in the United States, so.
Yeah, Evo Plus is covered because it is brought to them by the relationship between Archer and Evolution.
Okay.
Cool.
Good to
Thank
know.
They
you.
are in fact covered.
Okay.
Clarify though, just for a lot of the new agents though, if you are booking flights, it's my understanding that you should actually use the client's credit card because they may be asked for that when they check in to prove that it's not a fraudulent transaction. So that's always been my understanding, that if you're booking flights, you need to use the client's credit card for that.
That is correct.
So I would be very careful booking flights using your credit card.
Yeah, that was just for the hotel accommodation. So thankfully,
Yeah.
it was not for flights, but for any
That's
flights,
exactly,
I'll keep
yeah,
that in
yeah.
mind. Yeah, cool.
So if you're not booking with Archer and you're booking it outside, should you use Archer's forms for those bookings, if I understand the question correctly? There's no reason you can't use the forms and just keep them on file for yourself as your own protection. Or you can go online and get another, you could Google and get a credit card authorization form and use that as well. But
didn't know how you'd feel about us sending it to
Oh,
a
no, I
client
don't.
saying
No, no, no,
Archer
no,
and
no.
it isn't an
No, I'm
Archer
okay with that.
transaction.
I'm okay with that. I'm way okay with that because anything that protects you against any losses is good for you, which is in turn good for us. So I'm not worried about that at all. Well, that was good. Okay, Australian flights. We'll get direct access to national airlines, at least better part of the deals in the Aussie market. John is working on a consolidator for air tickets globally and is reaching out directly to the airlines who we could potentially sell enough volume to get a deal. So he is pursuing that as we speak. When we set up, Reggie, when you set up a call with John and Dave with the select agents down there, let's make sure he could give them idea of what he's working on as far as the air goes.
Okay.
Investigate the supplier Air Tickets Australia. Air Tickets Australia is owned by Hello World, which is one of your big agency competitors. I would not be comfortable giving them that access to your information. Are you?
We won't get access to that. We don't. Yeah.
Okay. Creative Cruising is not listed as a supplier to back office. We've told Dave and we can book them as an option for Disney. Just want to confirm we are covered by E&O. Yes, you are. John said Dave introduced me to Creative Cruising to follow up. However, all Archer agents would be able to see all of the other Archer agents' bookings. Are we okay with this? Is his question to me. In the past, we've had suppliers where everybody can look and see everybody else's bookings, and there has been problems with people getting in and incorrectly canceling or changing bookings of other agents, including people that couldn't find any space on a particular cruise, so they canceled another agent's booking and put their own names on it. Unless I'm sorry?
That's not good, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Unless we can work with them and they can set it up. Now we've figured some workarounds with Carnival, for example, but we'll have to have John inquire to see if they have a workaround with that. Okay, we have a few preferred suppliers on Nietzsche that process as net bookings. In these cases, we don't use the customer's credit card to process these bookings due to being net. Are we covered as for these situations? The client pays us and we pay the supplier. Are you paying 10% to your sponsor and 10% to Evolution, or are you doing that? Are you doing that transaction?
When we're paying net, we get the money, and then we just only. It's like keep the difference between the net and the gross. That's what happens. You know what I mean? You don't pay the anyone the difference. So what's the process for that?
If you're paying outside of the relationship with Archer Travel and Archer Travel is not providing the supplier, and nor is Archer Travel and Evolution receiving any of the revenue, it is unlikely you would be covered by errors and omissions.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Well, in fact, I'll just tell you flat out, you're not. Because again, that's a separate relationship outside of ours. Because now, if you want to pay me 20%, so I could give 10 to your sponsor and 10 to Evolution, then you would, yes, be covered. But
Holidays is actually in our back office, Ron, in the Travel Cafe as one of our suppliers.
Yeah,
well,
they are one of your. They are one of our suppliers, but you're not using it as through the relationship with Archer. You're doing it directly with them. Now, here is actually, as I say that, here's the $64,000 question that has to be considered. The only caveat to that would be, can you book Omnici directly without going through Archer anyway, or are they only paying you because we're signed up with them?
Don't know. Haven't tried.
Reggie, we would have to find that out.
Yeah.
Because if they can only, if theoretically, if they can only use Omnici or other suppliers because we've signed them up with them, then they would be covered, but then you would be in violation of not providing Evolution and the sponsor the 20%.
That's correct.
Would you like to leave that sleeping dog lie?
I'm pretty sure that we had to use the IATA number to sign up with them. So
Do you want to get the errors and omissions coverage in return for the 20%?
Well, I think there's two parts to this. As you're saying, the Evolution and the sponsor aren't getting their 10% of it either, but we're not covered by E&O either if we're doing it that way. So
Right.
there's actually two parts to this.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, if you wanted to have the coverage, then it would be required that you book it with the relationship and pay, because you're paying that, you're getting to keep that 20%. You would theoretically have to give up the 20% to get the E&O coverage.
Is there not an option to pay gross?
Is this the same thing that happens with Evo Plus anyway?
No. Actually, that's not the same thing, and let me tell you why. You pay a monthly fee, they raise the rate, and you pay a monthly fee for Evo Plus, of which Archer Travel gets a portion and Evolution gets a portion. You pay no monthly fee to be part of Omnici.
Yep. Okay.
So it's an interesting scenario. But I mean, the fact of the matter would be it's up to the insurance company. And if the insurance company comes back and says, well, wait a second, you booked this direct and there was no payment there, you collected the money directly, that's therefore outside of the relationship. So we would have to look into that, but I don't really want to go back and then have them tell me, okay, we now have to make a policy change on this and you guys need to give up 20% on those suppliers. I'm going to leave that alone for now, and you guys can tell me what you want to do in the future. I don't know how much you're using outside suppliers and booking net.
I haven't seen an option with them to pay gross. It's always just been net that I've seen.
Again, I don't know how much business is going net and how much then therefore the sponsors and Evolution is giving up. We let it go because we were low on suppliers. There is a program that I can bring into place, guys. We have in the UK called Ecom Pay, and we could put that in Australia. And if we put that in Australia, you would have to pay us, and then we would pay net, and then we would distribute the money to the supplier. You would get your commission back, and we would pay the supplier. We would pay the sponsor and Evolution. So I have an avenue in which to do this. The question is, do you want me to do it that way starting soon?
If we went down that path, would that then give us the ability to be able to access more net suppliers? Because a lot of the suppliers here in Australia do operate as net, and it's been one of the issues with us getting access to a lot of the suppliers here.
Yes, you could pick up more net suppliers.
Interesting. Maybe we need to have a think about it.
All right, we'll discuss it internally. You guys talk about it, and then we'll get back and discuss it further.
maybe we do a poll in the Australian agent site.
Well, that's really not gonna. That's not really gonna be a determining factor of whether we are forced to do this or whether we should do this or not.
Okay.
It's really whether we are ready to go down that road. How much is that going to affect your net income? How much is that going to affect the business and the ability to get more agents down there? If I get more suppliers in there, but yet you're giving up the 20%. There is a benefit to the cost. We would pretty much, we actually talked to Ecom Pay about doing this, and they said, yeah, we could absolutely do this for Australia as well. So we talked about it. That's probably been 60 days. And because we're just getting everything up and running in Europe, we haven't processed a whole lot through them yet. So we haven't gotten to the point where I'm comfortable bringing it down there. And it's probably not going to be something we're going to do in the next 60 or 90 days. But it would probably be something we'll do down the road. Again, depending on how many net suppliers more suppliers we could pick up. Reggie and I need to have some internal discussions with Evolution and David and stuff, and then come up with a solution. Last one I have is Vax Access. John says, I will confirm any policies, restrictions for AU agents to use Vax i.e. land only, no TPP available, sales in USD, but can they use Australian credit cards? So he is contacted Vax. He has not heard back. I will have him report back to you as soon as we get that information, which should be only in the next day or two.
I used Bax in the past with no problem with Australian card.
Okay. Excuse me. I haven't heard of any problems, but again, we'll just confirm that. Okay, so going back, Klook and Ticket Tech are the two ones you want, and then adding the admins for Jen.
Michelle.
Michelle, okay. I saw Big M. I'll get the admins changed over. I'll find out why there's so many admins on there. And probably if they're US admins, we'll probably make some selection, and we'll have to make some determination of how we want to go forward with that, and maybe give you guys some more control of that as opposed to having US agents do it, so you can put more of your own stuff in there. And then I'll get the 10 to 15 NCL groups for 1 year to 18 months. I will have some of it in place. If I have it, I don't know if I'll have all contracts in place by Friday, but I will certainly get it started. And I committed, I will make the deposits for the cabins on that so that you guys have the inventory to sell. My apology again for not getting it done faster, but
Ron, one of the questions they asked is if you can add Ticketmaster to your list of getting them as a supplier.
We already have Ticketmaster, and I don't know why they're not having access to it down there. We have Ticketmaster as a supplier.
Okay, I never knew that. I never seen that in our back office.
I just bought some tickets from them.
Yeah, you bought through a consumer site.
I bought it through Road Trips, which is Ticketmaster. They gave us a commission of 12%. So let me get verification on that.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll look into that.
And also you are to come back to us in regards to the flights, yeah? Ron, please.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, John is working on a worldwide consolidator for flights, and then we'll get verification on Archer Go so that we can get the client information in the itinerary so that any changes or cancellations, they can get notification.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, Ron. I asked a couple of times and I saw that there are other agents who are happy as well with my suggestion. Can we add to, or at least consider, Luxury Escapes as a preferred supplier as well? They have really good deals and inclusions in the packages that they offer. And also very good customer service.
I will have John inquire and sign up with Luxury Escapes. By the way, do you guys all know who John Jackson is? Okay,
No.
John Jackson's been with us about 6 months. He is now in charge of supplier relations. John was he was the vice president of sales for the United States for Korean Air for 17 years. He's very well versed in the industry, and he's very good at what he does. We're very, very pleased to have him. I will have him. He's also the one that's looking into the Australian relationships, but I will have him get in touch with Luxury Escapes to see about getting us signed up as an agency with them. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Again, I'm sorry about my tardiness and my being so disorganized tonight. I will I'll get my act together, as they say, next time we discuss this. But Reggie, let's follow up and make sure that the Australian committee, as it were, will have a meeting with John and Dave.
Yeah, I got that already. John and Dave set up a meeting.
Okay, thanks, Courtney. Thanks, guys. Be well and have a great day.